We actually have Javonté Wright. He is our relief specialist. He will be here today sharing his passion about financial wealth, specifically financial wealth within the African American community. The financial well-being of African American community actually lags behind the other US populations as a whole. So Javonté, what are these reasons for this gap within the African American community?
Well, good afternoon to everyone. First, I'll say that due to many oppressive tactics in generations, the Black and African American community missed out on the proper knowledge and the ability to learn financial literacy, which is basically understanding and having the knowledge to make sound financial decisions and manage your personal finances. The TAII Institute actually performed a personal financial index that showed that African Americans that took it, only 38% of them scored correctly. Now, on the other hand, that's not saying that it's not always, there's no financial literacy at all. The study showed that in the older generation, those who had more formal education and those who had higher incomes did actually understand somewhat of what financial literacy was.
So what are the causes of lack of financial literacy within all populations?
Within all populations, that's correct. Financial literacy is a deficit. There's a deficit in all populations. And the main cause of that deficit is the lack of knowledge and the lack of sharing information. For much of the Black and African American community, for a long time, we didn't even understand how to read, yet alone to interpret financial literacy. So that made it even harder for our ancestors and those that came before us. So now the knowledge is kind of just getting to a lot of us. So we're learning as we go. And for a lot of the Black and African American community, it's our responsibility to share knowledge. A lot of people that I've met and talked to have felt like if they share this, then it's going to take away from them. When it's not a crab mentality, the crab mentality is what's the problem, when we should share the information, share the tips, and help each other grow.
So why is this financial education personal to you?
Personally, I've had different experiences that I've gone through. One in particular is dealing with insurance. People don't know that having insurance, life insurance, is a part of being financially wealthy. I've seen many different people who have come in this earth and gone in this earth and did not have insurance. And then they were asking for help from the community, different people trying to raise money to cover the costs and the things that were left behind. Whereas on the flip side, I have seen where having that life insurance has helped take care of everything and even set the families up for better in the future. Now, in the Black and African American household, for a lot of people, the incomes were smaller. So when they heard about life insurance, they didn't think it was necessary. They didn't think it was needed. But I come to say that it is definitely necessary and something that we should always encourage, especially here at Bayport. When we have members coming in, take the time to ask them about, do they have life insurance? Because it is a necessity for everyone. Another thing that I learned is when it comes to credit building, from myself, personal experience, I messed up my credit when I was 18 years old because I was a young, high school kid, just wanted to get out. Didn't listen to my mom, didn't listen to my auntie and uncle when they told me don't do it, but I did it. So from my personal experience, it was charged off. I got it paid off now, but I have a first cousin who's like my little sister. I found out some information about adding her as an authorized user and it will boost her credit score. And it did exactly that. She's 19-year-old sitting with a credit score of about 710. For some, you might say that's not like all that, but that is all that. That's all that for her to be 17 years old with that. So I encourage you, if you have someone that you care about, children, and you did not know you could do that, some companies will even allow you to do it before 18. Most companies, the minimum is 18. Some will allow you to do it at 16, 15, 13, and some don't even have a minimum. So you take that as you take that. Another thing that we can do for just increasing the financial literacy overall is taking the time to educate, especially those who are younger. I know I make it a goal for anyone, but especially those that are in the African American community, to take that time to educate them on what credit is, take them and educate them on budgeting. And that's something that is dear to my heart.
So I can definitely see your passion as it relates to educating, not only the African American community, but all populations who are struggling with this financial literacy.
Mhm.
So how do you take this passion, that you have, which is amazing because you work in a place that you get to help and coach people with their financial
Absolutely.
literacy. But how do you take this passion outside of the walls of Bayport?
So outside of Bayport, I'm currently working on a project now. We're doing something on a bigger scale, but on a smaller scale with people from my church family, and different friends. I help them with creating budgets, especially when they feel like they're in a rut, showing them that, hey, you may see all this red, but there is green there. You will have to cut back some things here. You will have to do this. But in order to get out of this hole, this is what you need to do. So I really take time and taking time with the different people that I help to really sit down, reevaluate your financial situation, because there is green, there is, what did it say, yellow at the end of the tunnel. There's green, yellow at the end of the tunnel. There's a white light there that you can make it to and get there. So that's one of my biggest passions. And I'm working on something bigger because a lot of people have been coming to me asking me to put something together about that. So yes.
So
And go ahead. No,
okay, no, go ahead.
no, you're good.
So do you have any advice for us as a whole,
Yes.
especially our Bayport Credit Union employees?
Yes, definitely. Together, we're better together, and if we work together and take the extra time out to really sit there, whether it's with our coworkers or our members, like I said, because even our coworkers, we are all human. We have times, and if you are having that conversation with someone and you have the education, you have the knowledge, take the time and share with them. Take the time to sit down and offer that assistance, not as, trying to like take over their lives and things like that, but just offer what it is that you have to offer to the table. And just that little thing shows someone that you care. And we do that, we'll be better together. And so to close out, I'll just say that financial literacy is lower in America, especially in the African American community. But it is possible for us to become better for ourselves, our families, our communities, and our future. We must band together. We have to band together. That is the key. Banding together, sharing the knowledge, and build our futures that our ancestors fought so far hard for us to have. Thank you for this time. I am Javonté, and this is Black History Month.
Yes, thank you so much, Javonté.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your passion, your dedication to serve. I hope Javonté's message encourages you to go out beyond into the community to begin to share your knowledge.